Hey guys, I'm Alistair and this is the Saucony Ride 18. The Saucony Ride 18 then is a very versatile daily trainer, and it's versatile in the sense that it's very good at doing a few things really well. Number one being running, so yes, it's really good for getting that daily mileage as a daily trainer, but it's also good for using for gym sessions and also walking in or just wearing all day long. It's a very good lifestyle shoe too. Some highlights with it are the fact that it's even lighter than the previous version. It has a better fit and a more balanced midsole, which I think I actually prefer over the previous version. Right, let's get into the key specifications to give you a broader knowledge before I get into my performance review. They cost $140 from Saucony.com, and I will let you know by the end of this review if I believe they're worth that price tag, which by the way is very reasonable for a durable, versatile daily trainer like this. They weigh 9.4 ounces for a size US men's 9, that's my pair, or 266 grams if you like to work in grams. And that's interesting because it is lighter than the previous version. I will do a very quick section which compares this Ride 18 to the Ride 17 very shortly. They have a drop of 8 millimeters from heel to toe. That's 35 millimeters under the heel and 27 millimeters under the toe area. The midsole is using Power Run Plus beaded foam, and the outsole is using XT900 rubber compound. And looking at this outsole, this shoe is really going to be best for road running, of course, and treadmill runs. You could probably take it on very light trails too if you wanted to. And the support is neutral. Sizing and fit then. Well, they're very much true to size and they have a medium width. They're super comfortable right out of the box. I mean, there's no breaking in needed in these at all. The heel counter at the rear and the collars and even the tongue are all really soft, very cloud-like. There is enough space in the toe box as well. So I said it's medium width, and that's on average across the shoe it's medium, but there is a little bit of extra volume in the shoe and especially in the toe box, so it's nice to have a little bit of wiggle room. It helps with temperature regulation within the shoe as well. If you're familiar with the Ride 17 that came before this one, then the fit is very similar, but the only differences I've picked up on are that it just feels a little bit more voluminous. So there's a little bit more volume in there, touch wider, and overall it just feels a little bit more refined and better in my opinion. Very quickly then, how does it compare to the Ride 17? Well, I've got the Ride 17 here. This is the Halloween edition, glow-in-the-dark version, which is very cool. There are a few minor differences, and it actually does make a difference in the ride. First off then, the Ride 18 weighs 9.4 ounces, whereas the Ride 18 weighs 10.2 ounces. That's actually quite considerable. That's about 8% weight reduction, and I personally very much feel this on the ride. It's made the shoe feel a lot more snappier and responsive, and makes it better for longer runs as well. And of course, for wearing all day, because you're not dragging around that extra weight. The upper, in my opinion, has been improved. It's been really refined. I much prefer the lacing system. So if you see how they compare here, you kind of have this fly knit type lacing system, which gives a little bit of extra stretch and movement in the lacing on the new version. These threads here that attach to lacing, I guess you could call them eyelets of sorts. Anyway, it just creates a much more refined fit that kind of stretches around your feet as you move. So it's a bit more dynamic on the move. And all of that just leads to a much lighter shoe that feels more responsive, snappier, and more comfortable to wear for longer times. If you're enjoying this review, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to my channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. I always keep things genuine and honest and as insightful as possible to help you decide whether the shoe I'm reviewing is going to be best for you and your need. But if at any point in this review you've got any questions that maybe I haven't answered, just let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite daily trainer is right now. Or if you've tried the Ride series before. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Congratulations, you've made it to my performance review. I'm going to start by going over the midsole, because that's really, for me, what makes the ride the ride. It's what gives the special ride that it has. The Ride 18 delivers a really nice soft landing, but it's not plush. So it has cushioning in it, so it does absorb some of that shock from your running, but it maintains a good level of response, which makes it a daily trainer that feels light underfoot and allows you to feel like you want to push the pace a little bit. So it makes the running that you can do with the shoe a little bit more versatile, because it doesn't constrain you to just running slow in this shoe. You can very easily pick up the pace. If you are looking for a Saucony shoe that is more plush and more cushioned underfoot to give you that really soft ride, then I recommend looking more towards something like the Triumph series. So tap the link up there or down in the description to go watch my Triumph 22 review next. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the outsole, which is using XT900 rubber compound. This rubber is very hard. It's not a sticky rubber, meaning it doesn't have the best traction in wet conditions. Maybe if you're running over painted lines on the roads or cobbled streets in the wet. Those kind of conditions, hard rubber compounds like this do tend to slip. There needs to be some give, there needs to be some softness within the rubber to actually leave some of that rubber on the roads, and that's what gives you traction. So I don't recommend wearing these in very wet conditions, but the caveat to that is this rubber compound being harder does make it more durable. So if you are running in dry conditions, you've got a much more durable outsole here. Now there are sections on the outsole where it doesn't have rubber compound, which are on the inside midfoot edge, which is less likely to have ground contact. Something to be aware of. Moving on to the upper. I really love the updates. The lacing system is the biggest thing that stands out to me. And that's these new eyelets that has kind of threads here. It just makes a much more natural fit, but feels more dynamic. It has a little bit of stretch there. And I feel like I'm able to get a much more comfortable, secure fit much faster with this lacing system. So I really love what they've done. I much prefer the tongue on this Ride 18 to the previous version as well. It's more padded, it's a bit longer. Just feels much more refined and more comfortable. It's also more breathable and a little bit more stretchy as well in the upper. So overall, the experience with the upper and how comfortable my feet feel whilst I'm running, it's just a lot better. However, if you do have very narrow feet and you prefer a much more snug fit in the toe box and in general, then maybe the previous version will actually be better for you there. I've got average size feet and I really love how these feel. Next thing I love about them is just how versatile they are. Saucony is offering lots of muted colors in the Ride 18. This color I really do like as well. It's kind of a nice muted green, kind of looks a little bit military in the color. This versatility in the colorways make them really attractive to people who want a running shoe that's also really good as a walking shoe. One shoe that you can just use for all your daily needs. And I really think they've nailed that market segment. What's my final verdict then? Are they worth $140? Well, yes, 100%. I really like the Ride 18. To me, it feels a lot better than the Ride 17. So if you've been running in the Ride 17, you've been enjoying that, then I think you're really going to love the updates to this version. It's just got a nicer fit, it's lighter, and because of that, it just feels more responsive and snappier. I think you're going to love this one. That said, it is more responsive, meaning it's a little bit firmer underfoot. So if you're really not into a firmer ride for your daily trainer, then I recommend looking at the Saucony Triumph 22 instead. There's a link up there. And before you go, just a really quick reminder that I'm not just on YouTube. I've got a blog called trailandkale.com. On there, I always update my best of roundups. So I've got tons of running shoe reviews and outdoor gear reviews on that website, which I highly recommend you go check out. But I'm mentioning that because as and when I do review daily trainers, for example, I do update my best daily trainers roundup on the website. That's kind of like a running total of what's best right now. So if you're watching this video in the future, that list has probably changed considerably from now. So I'll pop a link up there and down in the description where you can go check out that particular roundup and all the other content on there next. Thanks again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give the video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Peace.